Okay, now we are going to have, or I'm going to show you how you would teach a student, a blind student, to draw a Venn diagram. Now, I'll show you what it looks like in print. Okay, so this may be something that you're used to looking at, but of course this is in print. It doesn't have any braille on it, so you're going to want to convert something that looks a little more like this. Now, I happen to have done this on Sewell, something called Sewell paper, but we're going to create one that the student can create as well using the proper tools. So this is our goal. We're going to make something like this that, again, for you guys should look like this in print. Okay, so what we're going to need this time around is the Sewell raised line drawing board. That's what I'm going to use along with braille paper. And I'm going to pick my favorite compass. Now remember, your student may prefer a different compass, but I'm going to go ahead and use the Howe Press compass, which is available from Perkins School for the Blind. It's still called a Howe Press compass, but it's actually at the Perkins School. And if you go online or get their catalog, it is in there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm, again, like I like to do, I'm going to check this out, and since this size seems to be a pretty good size to fit on 8.5 by 11 paper, I'm going to try to see if my radius is about the same. Okay, that's about right. Now your student, again, now thinking it in terms of a blind student, again, they can bottom line figure this out too, or maybe even make it a little larger, more than half, whatever they think is about half. So that's what they're going to use. And by the way, again, let them experiment before they're doing their final product. Okay, so they know that they've got to have, let's look back at this again. They've got to have two circles. They have to overlap. What they should notice is right in here, they have to have enough room for a numeric indicator, a 7 and an 8. This is crucial. They sometimes make sure that these circles are large enough, but they have to make this overlap area be large enough to put 78 in there. So let's make sure we do that. So we're going to go ahead. In my case, I'm going to just try to do it right the first time. We'll see if I can manage that. And this is another thing. They're going to kind of have to think about how this is going to pan out. So I'm just going to say we'll try to start right about there. Tell them to make sure that they're not going beyond their paper. Okay, so stab, and we're going to go ahead and whatever technique they want to use. And sometimes they like to just check. Now, did I do pretty good? Can I feel that? Yes, I can feel that. Okay, that's, I don't have to go back over it. If they did have to go back over it, they can easily find what the little hole. That's another advantage of having a pointed one, that you really do create a hole right there in your braille paper. Okay, well, now the next thing is they're going to have to come over here, and before stabbing the paper, because remember that they're going to be able to find that again later, what they need to be doing right now is they can feel this even though it's on the other underside, that they have to get enough room between the tracing wheel and the edge of that circle to put that number in there, remember? So they're probably going to go, well, do I need that much? Okay, and so once they've figured out they think that's the right amount, then they can go ahead and stab. And probably they want this as close as possible to being straight across if they want it to look like the one we did on the computer and then went on Sewell paper. But I'm not that picky, so let's see if we can do this. So again, they're going to make that other circle, whatever technique they use. Remember, there's also this technique. I loved it the first time I saw a student do this. Some of them like this technique, and if it works, do it. Okay, so now they can check again on the other side. Ooh, I think that's looking nice. And they can check back. Is there anything? What else do they need to do? We're not going to make them draw the rectangle. We're going to assume that the outer edge of the paper is the outer edge of our Venn diagram. So I think we would be almost finished. What we need to do is, first of all, take it off the clipboard, double check that we feel like we have enough room, what we want to be the top and the bottom, move the board out of the way, and what do we need? We've got to put the labeling on. So always have my trusty braille writer at hand.